Good morning, everyone. This is MPU2373 Integrity and Anti-Corruption Group 2. So we are from Group 4. So these are our group members. I'm Chan Cheng Man.
I'm Adeline.
I'm Yocha.
I'm Karunya.
I'm Jane.
I'm Joyna.
I'm Sweta.
Alright, so in this presentation, we will look at how the MDB development Berhad, or known as 1MDB, was created, and the offenses committed by 1MDB and the impact and lesson learned, and last but not least, the conclusion. So I'll introduce what is MD 1MDB. So established in 2009 by the Malaysian government, 1MDB was created as a strategic development company fully owned by the Ministry of Finance. So the purpose of this 1MDB was to promote economic growth by securing international partnerships and foreign investment. So despite these ambitions, 1MDB quickly became a symbol of corruption. So within a few years, reports of financial misconduct surfaced and billions of dollars were allegedly misappropriated, making it one of the largest financial scandals in modern history. So our former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, who helped set up 1MDB, was accused of playing a central role in diverting the funds for his personal and political use. So his involvement brought intense scrutiny to Malaysian's government and financial practices. So now I'll pass the time to Sweta.
Good evening. I'm going to present about background is established on 2009 of 1MDB. The founding purpose is created as a strategic investment fund to promote economic development in Indonesia and attract foreign investments. The leadership founded by Prime Minister Najib Razak aimed to support his agenda for economic growth in Indonesia, and also the operations focus on sustainable development projects, building partnership with the private sector players to fund development initiatives. Furthermore, the early concerns issues identify signs of financial mismanagement service. The next is the established on 2012, which is skepticism emerges as by 2012, public and media scrutiny intensified aimed reports to irregularity within 1MDB operations. Initial investigations uncovered that billions of dollars were being mismanaged and diverted from their intent purposes. The figures identified is a Malaysian financial Jolo emerged as a central figure involved in the misappropriation of funds. The funds is misused elegant servers that funds were channeled to shell companies and used for luxury purchases, including real estate, valuable artwork, and investment in Hollywood trending pictures. The furthermore is established on 2015. Major investigation and political fallout. The investigation reports in a 2015 media reports, notably from the Wall Street Journal, revealed deeper corruption within 1MDB. Najib Razak implicated it was discovered that nearly $700 million had been deposited into the Najib personal bank accounts. Public revelation alluded to widespread protests in Malaysia, with citizens demanding Najib's resignation. The political repercussions, opposition parties used the scandal challenged Najib administration, increasing political tensions. The last one is the global attention. The scandal attracted international concern, with anti-corrupting groups condemning the lack of governance and transparency within 1MDB. That's all from me. I'm past to Jane.
So I'm gonna talk about the 2016 international investigations, whereby the 1MDB scandal involved the embezzlement of billions of dollars, drawing international investigations from countries like the US and the Switzerland. In 2016, the US Department of Justice sought to recover nearly $1 billion in assets, calling it a massive kleptocracy. Funds were allegedly misused for luxury purchases, such as private jets and yachts. Moreover, the scandal exposed the role of financial institutions, including Goldman Sachs, in enabling the fraud, underscoring the need for stricter regulations and accountability in global finance. The next slide. As for the 2018 political impact and legal actions, the 1MDB scandal reshaped Malaysian politics, leading to Najib Razak's defeat in the 2018 election by Mahathir Mohamad. This is the summary of this first one. The next page. So Najib and his wife were blacklisted amid corruption allegations, and police seized Ringgit Malaysia 1.1 billion in assets, including cash and luxury items. Public outrage over the scandal drove Mahathir's return to power, with his government pledging to combat corruption, strengthen anti-corruption efforts, and prosecute those responsible, including Najib. Next slide. So this is the summary of the timeline. So in 2009, 1MDB was established primarily to fund development projects in Kuala Lumpur. As of the 2013 to 2014, questions rose about 1MDB's debt levels and its lack of transparency in operations. When you go to 2015, investigations began after the WSJ reported that nearly $700 million from 1MDB was diverted into the personal bank accounts of Najib Razak. As of 2016, the US Department of Justice filed civil lawsuits seeking to seize assets bought with money stolen from 1MDB. And the last one is 2018, where Najib Razak was arrested and later charged with money laundering. That's all from me.
Okay, I want to present about the offenses that the Najib had committed. The first one is money laundering. He transferred a stolen fund through complex transaction and dummy cooperation. And the second one, money laundering activity facilitated by the international bank and also the financial institution. And the third one, all the funds flowed through multiple jurisdictions, including United States, Switzerland, and also the Singapore. In 2016, US Department of Justice filed a civil lawsuit seeking to recover over 1 billion in assets related to the 1MDB scandal. And the second one is embezzlement. Najib allegedly diverted large sums of money from 1MDB fund. And the second one, he used stage development funds to fund extravagantly lifestyle like luxury purchase, properties, and expensive artwork. And the last one is the high-end yachts. One of the 250 million yachts equanimity was confiscated in Indonesia, believed that have been purchased with 1MDB fund. And the last one is fraud. 1MDB misrepresented its financial status to investor and financial institution. And the second one, fraudulent bond issuance were based on misleading activity resulting in financial losses for investor. Deceptive practices include number one is forged document. The second one is for representation of fund activity. And the last one is complex effort to investigate and recover lost fund. Now I will pass to Adeline.
So now I'll be talking about the impact, the aftermath and the impact of the 1MDB scandal. So the first one will be public distrust in government. The widespread of distrust. So the scandal resulted in deep mistrust towards governmental bodies and also officials, particularly in Malaysia. So public sparks widespread demonstrations and calls for electoral change as Malaysians reacted to the misuse of public funds. So the second one is impact on public services and property. So billions are meant for the national developments were diverted and also affecting essential public services. So now Najib Razak was charged with the money laundering in 2018 after the undi, because of the misuse and the authority and the criminal breach of trust. So in 2020, after the deeper investigation, so Najib was found guilty and sentenced to prison for marking a significant political and legal outcome. So the corruption contribute to poverty in some regions due to halted development projects and reduced job opportunities as well. For example, the East Coast Rail Link. So this key project intended to improve the connectivity, but then they experienced funding cuts and slowing economic progress in critical areas in states. Next, the third one is loss of confidence in government policies. So public and citizens of Malaysia, they start to have doubtful thoughts towards Malaysian government's future policies and questioning if leaders prioritize the well-being of people as well. So the next one is rise in activism. So the scandal ignited a new wave of activism with groups like Bersih advocating for open governance and transparency. So many youngsters in Malaysia joined protests, pushing for political change and challenging for long-standing party domains. For example, a young leader of Malaysian United Democratic Alliance, which is the MUDA, who is Sheikh Shadid. So he is basically a very active advocating for political change in Malaysia. So the next one is political change after the 2018 election, which is the undi. So after the 1MDB scandal played a key role in Malaysia, which is the year of the election. So after the election, the positions was led by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, who won a reform-focused platform. So it's basically the Pakatan Harapan win Barisan Nasional in the first time of history in Malaysia. So Najib's party in power after the independent was defeated for the first time after the new government came out with the promising accountability and reform. So the next one, which is the last one, will be the global financial implication. So international scrutiny. The scandals expose regulatory weaknesses, prompting countries to re-evaluate and strengthen anti-money laundering laws. So countries like the US, Switzerland, and also Singapore conduct investigation, and they seized the assets and took legal actions against those who are involved. So the next one is global cooperation. So they highlighted the needs of international collaboration in combating financial crime, so that the people who are misusing will learn their lesson from this case, which is the 1MDB case, and so the rate of the financial crime will be lower. So this can lead to a strong political system again. So last but not least is the increased regulations, which is organization like the Financial Action Task Force, which is the FATF, advocated for stricter global financial standard as a response. So next, I'm going to pass it to Karunya.
Right, so I'll be talking about lesson learned. And the first lesson learned, I would say, is financial institutions must prioritize comprehensive customers evaluation and also monitor any kinds of transactions for irregular patterns. And by proactively identifying risks and also issuing timely alerts for any suspicious transactions, the institutions can prevent any money laundering activities more effectively. And the next one is senior management accountability. So these senior leaders, the senior leaders, they hold a critical role in shaping a strong anti-money laundering culture. And their commitment to compliance sets the tone for integrity within the organizations, and also ensuring that the regulatory standards are met and also encouraging the transparency at all levels. The last but not least is significance of regulatory cooperation. So with the money laundering operation on a global scale, the cross-border collaborating among the financial regulators is essential. And the international cooperation, it strengthens the efforts to detect and also contract the money laundering, ensuring a unified and more powerful response across the jurisdictions. Now I'll be passing to Joanna.
And for the conclusion in this case, the first one is the reminder of corruption impact. The corruption can clearly destroy and damage a nation, and harm its future society. For example, which is causing political turmoil. For the second, which is also for the corruption impact, billions of cash that was supposed to use in charity will move up in Malaysia's central bank to accounts in Cayman Island for Najib's personal gains, which create a huge damage in the country. So, and then the amount of damage it have created in Malaysia had made the 1MDB case a lasting example of financial mismanagement in Malaysia. So for the second one, which is public trust and national well-being, because it was originally a good idea, which is economy development, it ended up turning into a major error due to misuse of funds. It will make the civilians unable to trust the government easy in the future. So the impact of the corruption also did not just involve the government itself, it also involved in the ordinary civilians that were hoping for stability and growth, as countless of money in Malaysia had lost. So for the third one is misuse of power for personal gains. So leaders like Najib Razak was blind by his own greed, making him prioritize personal gains over the national welfare that led him to commit the crimes. So beyond the financial loss, this impact had damaged the public confidence, strained the economy, which was obviously the opposite goal of 1MDB was created, and had destabilized the society. So for the fourth one, so it is despite the unpleasant case in the 1MDB, it had become a very important lesson for young people and anti-corruption efforts. So the 1MDB is a cautionary tale for those who committed to fight against the corruption. It is a heavy reminder of how much damage the corruption can cause to society, as it also empathizes the need for accountability and effective oversight. So for the last one, which is global lesson in building trust, the
1MDB case is a lesson for all the countries to strengthen the institution to prevent any more similar case being committed. It highlights the important value to show honesty and encourage the to show honesty and take the responsibility to protect public trust and resource in our own society. It's also encourage the countries to build a culture where the society and future generations are more prioritized over the personal gains. That is all from us. Thank you.